Welcome to Underworld Exposed. Today's video is about the rise and fall of Hong Kong's drug kingpin, Crippled Ho. In a city of flashing neon signs, soaring tenements, and flickering dreams, one man rose from a forgotten corner of China to become the most feared and powerful drug lord Hong Kong had ever seen. His name, Sik-ho. To the streets, he was Crippled Ho. To the world, he was the architect of a billion-dollar narcotics empire. Sik-ho was born in 1930 in Shantou, a coastal town in Guangdong province. The child of a poor family, he grew up during a time of famine, civil war, and mass displacement. The communist revolution loomed, and with it came hunger, persecution, and a choice: stay and suffer, or flee and fight to survive. Like thousands of refugees, smuggled himself into British Hong Kong in the early 1960s. He was not a man of education or connections. What he had was cunning and a willingness to do whatever it took. A street brawl left him permanently limping. His enemies mocked him, but his limp became his name. And soon, Crippled Ho would become infamous. By the mid-1960s, had embedded himself in the criminal underworld. Hong Kong's triads controlled gambling, prostitution, extortion, and increasingly, drugs. While others fought for scraps, saw a global market waiting to be tapped. Forged links with suppliers in Thailand and Burma, regions that formed the Golden Triangle, the world's most prolific source of heroin. But wasn't just trafficking, he was systematizing. He pioneered a distribution network using cargo shipments, hidden compartments, and bribes to customs officials. Every gram that passed through the docks of Hong Kong lined his pockets with gold. By the 1970s, Crippled Ho was no longer just a triad enforcer. He was a kingpin. Police estimated that at his peak, was responsible for over 70% of Hong Kong's heroin traffic. An interview with police investigators and crime journalists mentioned that
he wasn't loud, he didn't flaunt it, but his name, when whispered, could empty a room. People feared him because they knew he could do whatever he wants, both legally and illegally.
His wife, Cheng Yue-ying, became his most trusted lieutenant, collecting payments, arranging deals, and laundering the profits through businesses across Southeast Asia. From the back streets of Kowloon to penthouses in Singapore, Ng's reach was unchallenged. But with scale came exposure. By 1973, the Narcotics Bureau had in its crosshairs. Years of surveillance, wiretaps, and undercover operations were finally bearing fruit. A sting operation led to the seizure of nearly 20 tons of opium and morphine, worth hundreds of millions. With it came 15 arrests, including and his wife. Stood trial in 1975. Calm, defiant, he denied all charges, but the evidence was overwhelming. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison, the longest sentence ever given to a drug trafficker in colonial Hong Kong. In prison, transformed. Behind bars, he turned to Buddhism, reportedly helping other inmates meditate and reflect. He donated to charities anonymously through intermediaries. But not all was at peace. Rival gangs tried to settle old scores. At one point, was assaulted in the prison yard, a reminder that even kings fall hard. In 1991, after serving 16 years, was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. On compassionate grounds, the Hong Kong government granted him early release. He died in Queen Mary Hospital in September that year, surrounded not by guards, but monks. The streets he once ruled had changed. His empire dissolved. His name, however, remained etched into the walls of old Hong Kong. Sik-ho's life became cinematic legend. His character inspired countless films, books, and folklore in Hong Kong's cultural memory. Jung represents more than crime. He embodies a generation that survived, adapted, and thrived in chaos. For better or worse, he was a product of his time. Today, tourists walk past where his warehouses once stood. Youngsters watch dramatizations without knowing the terror he once inspired. Crippled Ho, once feared, now mythologized. From refugee to overlord, from Kingpin to cautionary tale, Sik-ho's story is one of survival, ambition, and inevitable downfall. In the echo of his name, we hear the story of a city, a generation, and the price of power when no lines are left uncrossed.